I'm back, Billy. Yes, jump for joy. Yes, we're both so excited. Welcome to Minecraft Hardcore Superflat, where I already survived 100 days. I have a dream to transform this world with incredible builds and terrain, but before I can, I have to obtain every block possible in Superflat before I die and lose my world forever. Today, I want to get all the terracotta blocks from the masons. The problem is, I don't have any masons, literally zero. In order to get a bunch of masons, first, I'm going to need some emeralds. You see, with this being super flat, the only things that I have access to at the moment are oak, I have stone, thanks to my cobblestone generator, and of course, we have, dirt. Lots and lots of dirt. But I'm gonna need more than this if I'm gonna build in the true AnimusJ style. I like to build mega structures with tons of detail, but you can't do that with dirt and cobblestone. And where am I gonna get all of those blocks? The answer to that is these dudes. Not these specific dudes, but villagers. If I get masons will sell me so many different blocks to be able to build with. Because I have such few emeralds, I'm going to grab iron from the iron farm, sell it to my existing villagers, and because I can't seem to find any of my boats, it's time to craft another one. For anybody keeping track, that is boat number 15 of this world. And then use those emeralds to buy redstone from my cleric. Precious emeralds into redstone. And while I'm waiting on more villager trades, I might as well get to work crafting up all the ingredients that I'm gonna need for the farm. Oh, there's all my boats. Found them. Now there's one thing that I'm going to need, which I don't have in the game yet, and that's copper. I need a lightning rod. The only way to get copper in Superflat is to convert zombies into drown. So I'm gonna block off the mob farm, kill off the mobs below, add a little bit of water, let them all fall back down, remove the slabs, fast forward a little bit, and there we go. Now we have drowned, we just need to get them to drop some copper. We got two. This baby drowned right here is holding the copper that I need. I need one more and he's holding it, and these creepers keep on sizzling, making me nervous that they're gonna blow up. All of that work just so I could build one single lightning rod. And now, foolishly believing that I have everything I need, it's time to head off and choose the location for the raid farm. And I chose 500, -500. Remember, everything in this world is completely flat. It's impossible to navigate using structures, because there are none. And I'm terribly sorry, but somehow the time lapse of me building this raid farm got deleted. So here's a poorly drawn cat instead. But here it is, and you can thank IanXO4 for this design. The next step is to flood the entire area for 6 chunks around it with water, and then we have to get the villagers in, which was a little bit of an interesting process. Although the first villager is going to stay at the top, the second one is going to have to ride the wave about 30 blocks down, which he actually handled like a champ. With him in place, the next villager is going to have to drop somewhere around 60 blocks. And he clutches the water bucket like an MLG pro gamer. The next villager might have made it if I didn't bump him off of the waterfall, and the one after that didn't have the best of aim. So I decided it was probably time to take a more careful approach and used boats to get down. With all the villagers in place, it was time to inspect the redstone and start the farm, which I was incredibly nervous about, and I actually made a backup of the world and tested it out. And I'm glad I did, because I discovered my bottom villager was about 5 blocks too high up. The raid farm wasn't working right. So I lowered him down, but it's not time to test it yet because we can't use this sword in the farm. 1 librarian with a looting 3 trade, 2 swords from my weaponsmith will give me sweeping edge 3, and then another 2 books from a new librarian who gives me sharpness 4. Throw it all together, and now that absolutely everything is in place, it's time to mine stone for a couple days. Cause I need a raid patrol to spawn. so that I can get Bad Omen. And much to my surprise, Uncle Juan, the trader, showed up, and he offered me acacia saplings, jungle saplings, and some more ice. So I took it all. And in typical fashion, Uncle Juan despawned before my very eyes, and his llamas spit in my face. And the moment I decided to sit down and eat, look who shows up. So I took care of business, got Bad Omen, and it's time to test the raid farm. And the way this raid farm works is I stand here hitting these armor stands, which then uses my sweeping edge 3 to kill the mobs that are above my head. The raid spawns in the only spot possible at the top of the farm, and it stacks multiple raids on top of each other. They fall down, taking fall damage, before getting shuffled down another level where they get hit by my sweeping edge 3. All of the loot gets collected into the water and then into a storage system. It's absolutely insane. I think I've got this thing figured out, and after adjusting the filters, I let it run for 10 minutes, and then realized I didn't clear the chest, so I cleared the chest and let it run for another 10 minutes. So now that I have infinite totems, infinite emeralds, tons of potions, and quite a bit of redstone, I can actually start doing things. Now you may have noticed I didn't collect the gunpowder. That's because without sand or paper, I really don't have a use for it right now. Hey look, I can see my house from up here. Horrible jokes aside, it's time to finally start building up the Mason Trading Hall. And you might be wondering, why are you building it so high in the sky? Well, remember, I'm at block level -63. So I'm building it high up because I want to raise the ground level, rather the sea level, for the future, because I want to build a lot of really cool things. I won't be able to do that very well if bedrock is just 2 blocks below everything that I make. And that was insanely frustrating, but we have 8. Yes, 8 out of 16, which is actually technically out of 32. I say 32 because there are 16 colors of terracotta and 16 colors of glazed terracotta, and I want to have one villager that has each. Now that will leave a little bit of leftover, but that'll just mean extra. And technically we do have normal terracotta as well, but we can't get that from villager trades. And now it's time to go and get the other 8 villagers, which I was running out of, so I had to spend a little bit of time AFK in order to let some more spawn. Or breed? Be born. Whatever it is they do. This is crazy. I thought this was like a giant slime off in the distance bouncing up and down in the water, but no, it's a slime bot. The slimes were still somehow jumping the fence, so I built a wall of their own flesh to warn them to stay out. And then something strange happened. While riding a boat down with a villager in it, the boat disappeared, the villager died, and my totem popped. At least I had a totem to pop though. Thankfully, still going on this hardcore world. With the next 8 villagers in place, I was making good progress, but I was running out of new villagers. So I built up a new villager breeder, and while they did what they do, I started building up the next module. And at one point, I couldn't help but notice some kind of very intense staring contest going on. But the staring was super effective because it managed to produce several babies within a short amount of time. While I waited for them to grow up, it was time to start moving around some of the villagers. I want all of the normal terracotta in one section and all of the glazed terracotta in another. And then we have the first one who is less than useful, shall we say. He only offers brown, which we have plenty of, so sir, I'm sorry, but you gotta go. R.I.P. to that guy. So I sent flowers to the grieving widow and continued on getting all the villagers into their proper places. And then this happened. So what you're seeing right now is I'm AFK. There's me, just chilling, little AnimusJ. There's a thunderstorm, and these are all the 4 horsemen that spawned all around me. I have not had these guys spawn in my world, and it would be cool to have some skeleton horses. So I did my best to take them out without hurting the horses, but with the sword, it wasn't going well. You know what? I'm gonna, oh, I got low. So I went into the Fortress of Solitude, grabbed my bow, and came back and took out the skeletons kind of easily. Hello, sir. Hi, I would like your... Oh, he hurts? Now, I know it looks like I'm running away from the skeleton, but what I'm actually doing is just flanking him and, you know, taking him by surprise. That kind of a thing. Sweet. Now I have horse skeletons. Oh, I need to put things on them. Saddles, that's what they're called. So I put a saddle on one and added him to the horse pen with the other two. And finally, lime glazed terracotta. I have been trying to get both lime terracotta and lime glazed terracotta for quite a while now. I've actually gone through probably 10 to 15 villagers trying to do it. So this guy gets to live. And the surrounding villagers must have been paying attention because not long after I got lime terracotta. My collection is now complete. Because of how much I edited down the video, it may not seem like it, but it took me over a week to get all of these villagers. But I did it. I have every mason trade that's available. The villager breeder was experiencing technical difficulties, which led to one of my pods having an extra villager in it. And didn't really have any other way to take care of it. Now, in order to build the mason's building, I needed a lot of pink and orange terracotta, which sounds strange, but you'll see how it works out. And I guess I should have done my trading first because now they have really elevated prices due to being a little upset with me helping their friend stop being alive. For the time being, I'm going to call this Mason Hall, but I would love if you suggested a better name for it down in the comments. It's a brick building. In order to make it really look like bricks though, I'm using acacia planks at the bottom, transitioning into orange terracotta, and then to pink terracotta at the top with brick blocks mixed in. And from a distance, you really cannot tell that I'm using those blocks and it genuinely looks like a brick building. Because I lost like a stack and a half of acacia logs, I had to go spend a little bit of time farming some more. And then when I returned, I found our beloved uncle waiting for me. And you're not going to believe what he had. Yes, sugarcane. We have sugarcane. This is an epic win. We can now make paper, and that means we can make rockets for our elytra. Oh no, where did he go? Next, I wanted to set up little stalls in front of the mason building in order to demonstrate what it was that we were selling there. Basically, it's kind of like if you were to go buy gravel from someplace, they have these little stalls with all the rocks and different kind of stone that they offer. So I put the different kind of terracotta that the masons were offering in the front. I was starting to get low on golden carrots, and I realized I had only been utilizing one of my farmers to buy golden carrots from. So I leveled up the next one and started buying golden carrots from him too. Let's see what suspicious stew we got from this guy. Night vision. Wonderful. Looking to the future, I planted down my sugarcane. That way I would have more to be able to make a farm. The next step on the Mason Hall is to add a storage system. I would like to have it so that whenever I buy terracotta from one of the villagers, I can just put it into a chest that goes through an item stream and gets automatically sorted. But we're going to have to build a storage system to handle it. I'm going to need lots of wood for the chests and the hoppers for the storage system, and the quickest way to do that is jungle trees. However, jungle trees have a very low drop rate of saplings, so I want to get a hoe that has fortune on it, and I lucked out. The first one gave me Silk Touch, and the second one, Fortune 3. This is going to give me a lot more saplings when I farm the jungle tree. So I spent a little bit of time collecting wood and making sure that I was getting enough saplings to replant my jungle trees. Although I get all the storage and the water streams into place for this area, I'm not going to be able to finish it off because I need more ice in order to make the stream on the inside of the building. The only way that I can get ice is from Uncle Juan whenever he comes to visit. And speaking of Uncle Juan, it must have been my birthday because he showed up bearing more gifts. I took some dark oak, drip leaf, and some coral blocks. And in true Uncle Juan fashion, he disappeared as soon as we were done. The texture of this building is going to be off for a little bit. I started running out of emeralds to buy more terracotta due to the elevated prices. And with these last few slabs, the job is essentially complete. I mean, It's as complete as I can make it for right now. I have so many dreams for this world, but it's going to take a lot of time in order to get there. Just making this video alone took me almost a week and a half of work, so I really appreciate you watching it all the way to the end. Hopefully in the next video, I can finish out this area by adding a massive rock quarry, a giant crane, a digger. These are all things that I want to do looking to the future. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. Subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next video.